All right, is this going? Yes, it is. I got my midget with me. With the horse. Okay, I have a real one. That's all I get. 4 wheels. So, society, healthy society. I went over this with my son today as part of homeschooling. Healthy society. It's kind of something, as this thing falls apart, we're going to have to relearn how to become a healthy society again. And I figured I would help putting that little grain of sand out that starts the avalanche of the brain kicking on. Healthy societies. When healthy societies have equal offense. And common sense is in everyone except for those that have some kind of mental issue. And when people see that, that person gives off offense, which is you'll start to understand why they tell you, don't say that, it's offensive. Don't do that, it's offensive. And why that doing that is what is really killing this society, or has killed it, I should say, and why we're going to go back to that. And one of the examples I gave him was pooping your pants. Or not pooping your pants, but not wiping your ass. No, he wipes his ass. That's not an issue. But it was an example that he thought was funny, would make it, because comedy teaches better than anything else. You got a kid in your house who don't wipe your ass. Don't wipe his ass. He stinks, smells, it's disgusting. He's getting a rash. He's always complaining, my ass itches, because you don't wipe your ass. You need to wipe your ass. And you as a parent, because you care, you're fussing at this child, which is technically offending him and making him feel bad because you want him to wipe his butt. Now, society has this person come out into them, and he's like, older teenager, 20s, and he's walking around with his ass stinking, scratching it all the time. Okay? Now society has to do with it. And a healthy society will sit there and go, hey, get your hand out of your ass. Clean your ass. And they'll start verbally offending him. What I would say, disciplining, which today people take as offense. That's why we're calling it equal offense. He's offending by not taking care of himself and then being very lewd in public, openly scratching his butt and stinking and spreading disease on whatever he touches. That's his offense to the community. The community, if it's going to be healthy, is going to be offensive back to push back on the bad behavior. And this can go in anything. An unhealthy individual will call people fat, call people names, be not nice to them in some way, be it immaturity or a mental retardation, unknown. The family unit will coddle that person in the sense of, that's not nice, you shouldn't behave that way. Society is more effective. They won't want this person around. A healthy society will ostracize that individual. They will punish that individual. You will either conform to good morals or you will not have a job. No one wants to eat with you. No one wants to sit with you. No one wants to feed you. No one wants you in their establishment. There you go. That's why you're not like kick anybody out, because you'll give offense, which punishes the bad behavior. That's a healthy society. It's something we need to get back to. So this idea of equal opportunity employment, or I have the right, blah, 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 blah. Everybody agrees with that because everybody assumes that the person they're dealing with that comes into their establishment, either as a customer or an employee, is going to be reciprocal in their morals. They're not going to be ugly. They're not going to be offensive. They're not going to try and be dismissive to anyone, because that's why people agree with that, because they assume everyone is going to be nice. And in reality, they're not. And that little law prevents people from pushing back on the offense. You got to go through these channels. Got to go through the call the police or go to the judge, which pretty much just tells the person who's being offensive that, well, nothing's really going to happen right now because they're not smart. They do not have common sense. They think 5 minutes into the future, not 5 days. So the idea of going to jail isn't hitting them right then when they're being offensive. Your fist, on the other hand, if they're being really lewd, hits them right then and there, and it teaches a very valuable lesson. Oh, that is not approved in society. You should not do that. Now, I preface that with, if somebody's calling you fat, you're going to give them the equivalent offense to fat, which is not a bullet. She really wants to go on a ride. So hopefully most of you will realize if somebody calls you a name, really the best way to come back with that is, I'm not 5. I don't talk to people in name calling. I just ignore you and push you away because there's something wrong with you if you can't talk to me like an adult, which is the normal, healthy mind. Idiots are name callers. Yep, we'll go in a minute, promise. Andale. Anyways, so, equal offense to the offense given. The other explanation I gave to my son, and this is a really good one because it's on everyday things that happen. You're in a town, and I'm not talking about a trashy town. I'm talking about a town that even if it's poor or if it's rich, it tries to take care of itself. It cleans up after itself. So pick up the garbage, that kind of thing. So you're walking through the town. You're part of this community. And a normal, healthy town, normal, healthy people, they walk through. If they have to, or they happen to see trash on the ground, they'll be, we'll pick that up, put it in trash. An unhealthy person, unhealthy mind, and the community has to deal with that person, they just step over it. Leave it to somebody else to deal with. Oh, that's the town janitor or something, or some other person that has to deal with it. Not me, I'm too good. I'm part of this community, but I'm like the king and everybody cleans up, even if it's not my mess. Not mine, not my deal. Now, we're going to assume that the trash was not put there. It may have been blown out of a trash can or anything of that nature. So the town, they start seeing this behavior, and the normal healthy town, normal healthy mindset will give a warning. And it's usually out of banter, like a ha 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 funny, because again, comedy educates. And it just teaches them. So you give this person a warning, and then you see them constantly. Every time there's something out of whack or out of line, they just ignore it, they walk over it. They don't want nothing to do with it. Somebody else's problem as far as they're concerned. Now the town has given warnings. People are having to deal with this person. Now the talking begins. Well, you're just going to walk over it. And it's no longer comedy. It's a more viciousness in the tone. Now, if it never escalates to that they just walk over stuff, they'll just be ridiculed. But if this is the type of person that is making messes for others to clean up, there will be, and this is a healthy mind, in the back of the day, punishment. What will that punishment be? I'm a firm believer that the punishment should match the crime. Like, Fauci torturing puppies with sand fleas. My idea is, well, the crime should be Fauci being tortured by sand fleas. Equivalent crime, equivalent punishment. So that's my thought process on it. But again, as we get through all this, we see things as they go. We're going to have to relearn how to have a healthy society and deal with each other in a way that is productive and teaches all of its members how to thrive in it. Because even from the biggest cities to the smallest towns, it is screwed. Because every one of them have had to live in a fiat system that is unfair and a law system that is not equal.